Morning, it's August 28th, 2022, Sunday. Beautiful morning. And just had breakfast, wanted to have a quick chat about the market. It's really interesting what's happened over the last week or two. And just two weeks or 2 to 3 weeks ago, I started getting a lot of email from people saying, wow, what's going on? Are we going long again? The market is going up. And to be honest, I was really conflicted because with the gyrations, with the slow gyrations higher, it really looked like a floor had been in place. It just really looked like a natural floor formation, right? That has like a series of higher lows and higher highs. And it looked really natural, and it looked very organic, and there were no big spikes to the upside, right? Were quick spikes that indicated it was just a quick market move, maybe instigated by the whales. It was just a really nice duration higher, and I watched it for probably 2 or 3 weeks, right, going into early August. And to be honest, I got a little bit nervous and said, okay, maybe we missed out, maybe we missed the floor. And it's not that I really wanted to catch the top, the bottom tick. I never try to catch the top tick either. When it comes to bull markets, it's really foolish to try to do that. But it's, of course, at some point you have to draw a line somewhere, because you're crossing a threshold where you're starting to suffer from an acute sense of FOMO, right? You see this market gradually work its way higher, and you're thinking, wow, I should have maybe bought X days ago, right? Because there was this nice buying opportunity. In hindsight, everything looks always great, right? And so the one thing that really stopped me from giving the go signal, giving the green signal on cryptanaissance, and letting everyone back into the market, or signaling everyone back into the market, was that the fact that crypto has clearly led on the way down, big time. I mean, Bitcoin has lost, how much? Almost 70% of its value since the very top, 67,000, right, down to right now somewhere around 20,000, right? Last night I checked the market. I haven't checked it this morning. I'm just having breakfast. So, but last time I checked, it was around 20,000. And the slapdown that we experienced in the last week, it's strange, right? When you really investigate your own feelings about the market, it's always very interesting if you really try to be objective about it. Because I honestly felt a sense of relief that it had dropped, because I felt like, man, we cut out, I think 22K with cryptanaissance, and that was after a series of sell-offs, and that was a tough decision, obviously. And then we've been in cash now for, I don't know how long, 6 weeks, probably more. And you kind of forget about it, and then you watch the market and it goes even a little bit lower, and you're thinking, okay, cool, at least I got out. Yeah, I didn't get out, at the very bottom. And then all of a sudden it turns, right? And you see it crawl up, and deep inside you're thinking, okay, as soon as it starts crossing that threshold, you're thinking, okay, should I get back in? And here you are, right? It's this conflict. And well, that's one of the reasons also why I created Gravitas, which is a little bit more geared towards the swings, the large swings. It has a better cut-off point, and has a more optimal entry point when it comes to post-bear markets, right? So looking at all that and seeing crypto kind of creep up higher and then kind of plateau for a while, I was very suspicious. And I was suspicious again because I saw the equities market really take off. So we had the situation here clearly, right, where crypto was massively leading on the way down, because obviously equities haven't lost 70%, right, like Bitcoin. And it was lagging on the way up, right? And that's usually a really bad sign. And I think that was the sole reason why I decided, okay, this is not for you. This is a huge, giant, glowing bull trap, right? It glows from space. And yeah, I think we were proven right. So it's good to be proven right sometimes. But of course, I shouldn't really get my ego up. Sometimes you just get lucky, I guess, as well. So I think that's also, when it comes to trading psychology, and you should probably watch in our academy, you will find the recent brief webinar that we did with Itamar Marani about trading psychology, and you should definitely watch it. It's really awesome. So just as a side note, it's for free. I made it available in the Repliquans Academy. So watch it. Anyway, investigating your feelings when it comes to market swings is always very important, because the way you feel, everyone else feels, more or less, right? Depending on your mental wiring. And what you probably want to know, the reason why you probably watch this video is, okay, where do we go from here? And well, it's fairly simple, actually. This is the good news. The good news is that, I have to actually look at the chart. I don't know what the exact lows were. Right? Was it like 17,800 or something like that on Bitcoin? Whatever it was, if we breach those lows, I'll cut it in when when I edit this video, and I'll show you. If we breach those lows, it's really sayonara time, right? We're probably going to drop quite a bit lower, 15K, 12K, I don't know, right? I mean, it could get really ugly. And as I said in previous updates, if you hear that in the background, that's a donkey. We've got donkeys in the area. It's awesome here. And there was a dog. It's a lot of wildlife here. Even wild boar at night, they go and dig up everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, what was that? If we drop lower, if we drop below the medium, the medium-term lows that we painted a month or so or two ago, it's really saying another time, and we're probably dropping much lower. Now, if we hold those, let's say into, I don't know, November, December, after the election season, after things really flush out, we need to see a few more Fed announcements. We need to really kind of get a sense of what Powell and his crew are up to, and if they're really hell-bent on sticking it to the EU, to the euro, to the, I feel that there's something going on between those two camps. And because any calls for more QE have thus far fallen on deaf ears. What we're hearing right now from the Fed is more jawboning, right? Blah blah blah, but future rate hikes not being so as high, or we're starting to kind of mellow out a little bit later, a little bit earlier, things like that. I feel this is basically just they're covering their backs. That's all. They're going to be responsive. The Fed has always been reactive in history, and usually late. So I'm always a little bit surprised when people take the Fed statements at bare value. They will adjust based on the numbers they see. You might agree with them or not. I mostly don't, but that's a different story. I don't have that job. I wouldn't want that job if you paid me a lot of money for it. And it's quite possible, right, depending on how things go this winter. Once, for instance, here in Europe, things get really ugly and the world economy is really massively affected, we might see more rate hikes or more even aggressive rate hikes. We might see a percentage point rate hike. Who knows what happens? Which will push the dollar, right? It will really push the dollar strongly. And the euro, last time I checked, was already below par. Yay! Because I live in Europe. So for me, it's awesome. So, but for a lot of people in the US, it's obviously, a stronger dollar should benefit anyone. But it's really like if you're old enough, you probably watched the Acme, the cartoons when you were a kid. Right, with the Acme animal, Wile E. Coyote. It's just the currency is basically, it's a matter of which currency falls quicker. That's really what it's all about. So right now, the dollar is the slowest falling animal in comparison with the euro and other currencies. Swiss franc, of course, is always holding fairly strong. But coming back to the topic at hand here, right? Talking about equities, we're talking about the dollar. Well, it's kind of linked, right? if the dollar pushes up high, it's and continues to put headwind against equities. Equities will suffer, and with more rate hikes, we'll see equities fall again. We'll see it happen, especially now that we're heading into crash season, so to say. By the way, August is usually not crash season. September, October isn't. It's really kind of spread out. Sometimes crashes even happen in spring. So actually, when you look at the statistics, fall is actually a lot of times August, September, actually strong months, right? So it's just they have more outliers, and I have a feeling we might get a big outlier this year. It might be just around or after the election season, which is coming very soon. And to kind of close my arc here, right? My arc of thinking. If equities crash, they will drag crypto definitely with it. And if that happens, sorry, I got a bug crawling on me here. If that happens, then well, who knows where we end up. So I don't think the fat lady hasn't sung yet. That's probably a non-PC expression these days. Well, the heavy-set lady hasn't yodeled yet, right? And we might still see some fireworks going into late 2022. And until then, I keep my guard up, and I really don't trust small advances to the upside. I would really see, in order for me to gain confidence back in the crypto market and as a whole, what I would have to see is a strong advance followed by a retest, by a fairly violent and high volatility retest that holds and provides a base and then a breach. So basically like the zigzag, right? So we're seeing like long-term low followed by a push up, followed by a retracement, and then whatever high was previously reached, that gets breached. That might take a while, and we don't have that yet. Well, all we had is, the big low and then some wiggles up a little bit, and then boom, we're getting slapped down again. So maybe this is it right now. Who knows? Again, as I said in the beginning of the video, this might be the opportunity right here, but I just have my doubts. The timing is all wrong. This tape, I would have loved to see it in like November, maybe even December. It would have been a fantastic entry opportunity. But to see this so early, I really strongly felt this was a bull trap. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I think that's my perspective at this current time. And I'll keep you posted, of course, right? So upvote the video if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time.